Hi there, and welcome to One Degree Advisors, where we help families cut through the noise to make confident financial decisions. Anthony, I know there's a source of frustration with a lot of people. They don't exactly know how to spend their money or where they're spending their money. And so a lot of people, A, they don't want to budget, and B, they just don't know how to. I think of a really good analogy. It's like someone who wants to get in shape, and they know they need to get in shape. They've heard about what other people do. So they go, I'm just going to throw on some running shoes and I'm just going to go start running. They don't have a real plan. And it's not something that they're likely to stay consistent with. So it just falls apart. And I see the same thing with budgets. People, they get these fancy spreadsheets, all these different tabs. It looks really good. They stick with it for a month. And then month after month after month, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to keep doing this. So
Right.
You're going to walk us through a framework of understanding where money is going and something that is sustainable.
Yeah. Budgets do work for some people. We're not knocking that at all, but they're boring for many of us, and they can tend to get a little bit frustrating.
Yep.
So there's this concept that we use called live, give, owe, grow. And we can't take full credit for it because Mitch Anthony, who's the author of The New Retire Mentality, great book, and Ron Blue, the author of many books, including Master Your Money, you can get those online. They came up with this concept called live, give, owe, grow. And really under the auspices here that you can really only do 5 things with your money. You can live on it, you can give it away, okay, you can owe it in the form of debt and taxes, or you can grow it, which is basically saving it or investing it for later.
Yep. So why don't we start at a place of just, kind of order of operation. Let's start at the top. Let's start with give. That's like the first thing you want to do with your money.
Yeah. So, well, we at least hold that out to a lot of people, and a lot of people find that as like, hey, if I want to give money away, if I want to help my community, help society, help ministries that are out there, I got to build my cash flow app on what I plan to give away.
Yep.
And so it's really setting that goal, that objective is here's what I want to give to first. Here's how much I want to give, and I want to be able to prioritize that right from the very beginning.
And it helps ensure that you have the cash flow to be able to do that. So that's great.
Absolutely.
The second thing we have here is grow. So what does that mean?
Yeah, a lot of times people, put it under like the heading of pay yourself. And so saving and investing, if you're putting away money towards your cash reserves, your savings account, towards your 401k, any other investments that you have, ensuring that, hey, here's what I really want to allocate towards my future and towards emergency funds, and putting that second in line.
Perfect. All right, the next thing we have here is, and I know that can be broken down into 2 categories, which is debt and taxes.
Yeah, I like to think of those first 2 categories as giving and growing as more productive uses of our money. And then you kind of get into the more consumptive uses, which is like when we owe debt, we're not really putting ourselves forward in any way. We're not being productive with that money. So we really want to try and minimize that. Now, taxes, you could look at it, I guess, as a productive use of money, and that, we're furthering our society and paying the government so they help. But in most cases, we want to try and minimize our taxes, right? So it is when we have taxes to pay, since we're on an income tax-based system, at least mostly that way, when we owe more taxes, it's really symptomatic of earning an income. So it's not a bad thing. We just want to do the proper planning to try and minimize those taxes.
Yeah. Well, I know Ron Blue always makes this joke. I think there's one here. He goes, well, if you want to pay less taxes, all you have to do is make less money or give more money away. I mean, it's really that simple.
Right.
But in a way, it is very true. I mean, taxes is a symptom of the money we make. Now, of course, you don't want to leave a tip to the tax man, but paying no more than needed is necessary. Okay. And then finally, I think this is where people get hung up on, is the live category.
Yeah, and that's why we save it for last. And like you said, the mode of operations in terms of, when we're thinking about, okay, what do we need to eat? We need to put gas in the car. We need to keep the lights on. Even other, entertainment, travel, all these things kind of come under this big bucket. And the reason we put it last in the mode of operation is because we've already taken care of everything else.
Yep.
So there still is a certain amount of planning that may need to go into, like, here's how much my bills are, here's how much I need for food. But when we've done the priorities, the giving, the saving, we've paid our taxes, we've made sure if we do have any debt like a mortgage or
taking care of
hopefully
it.
not other consumptive type debts, that we get those paid off. Everything else is meant for that living piece of the pie, and then we don't have to feel bad about it because everything is already meant to be in that
well
part.
And this is why I love the framework, is that it does give the hardest thing is just knowing where your money's going.
Yep.
You have to know where your money's going. Now, whether or not you want to track things down to the penny, I think that's a personal preference. But if you don't know where your money's going, how could you possibly make any progress in your financial life? The thing with budgets too, that's always it's been a unique relationship with me, is it's like, okay, if I budget, $200 for going out and doing whatever, okay, well, family and relatives have come into town. Am I not going to go beyond my budget because people have come into town? I want to celebrate and have fun. It's understanding where your money's going, not being out of control of things, but spending in the areas that are most important to you, and understanding that if we put ourselves in boxes 24/7, very often it's not likely a system that we can maintain on a routine basis. So I really like this framework, and just understanding where your money is going is so important.
Yeah, and then if you're categorizing your expenses based on this simple framework, then you can look at it and say, okay, in this year maybe we spent 50% on living expenses, 10% towards giving, all these different pieces of the pie, and then you can make the objectives to say, you know what, I really want to grow what I'm putting into giving, for instance, or I want to add to what I'm saving and investing for my future, and you can really deal with bigger pieces of the pie there. And then also what you want to try and minimize.
Yeah, things that move the needle. Well, I love it. This is the kind of stuff that again, we do help people with. It's the overall framework that we use to help people get into retirement, understanding what they're spending, but also folks that are still working, helping them in their working years make the biggest impact. Do you know where your money's going? Let's see how we can move the needle in different areas. So there's a very powerful framework. Hope you found it helpful. Again, Mitch, Anthony, and Ron Blue really are kind of like creators of this philosophy and promoters of it. So be sure to look them up. If you would like help in the areas of financial planning, investment management, knowing where your money's going, those are the areas that we can help you with. Give us a call, visit our website. We'd love to talk with you.